Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of.
The Adam and Dedra Show.
I'm surprised you didn't say the Dedra and Adam Show because you said it first.
I can if you want me to.
Well, as always, we have another amazing show for you guys today. We were just in Boston, Massachusetts, had a heck of a time.
But first, before we get that far, we need to introduce our beer that we're going to be drinking.
Very true. It's from Beer Zombies out of Las Vegas. Love Letters West Coast Triple IPA. And I don't understand these hops that they use. The Nelson Hyper Boost, Idaho 7 Hyper Boost. I know what Nelson and Idaho 7 are, but Hyper Boost? Oh, I don't know. And then Citra Cryo, which I know what those are, and then Simcoe.
So, well, let's cheers and let's see what it tastes like. I'm really curious.
Cheers to this 11% triple IPA.
Yeah, and then I want you to finish going over the details.
Okay, yeah. Oh my gosh. And that is a very almost like thick. It has like a lot of flavor. That is your tongue, and you could actually feel it's almost like viscous a little bit. Triple IPA, and it's just making my mouth water.
That's very good.
Oh my gosh!
But at 11%,
11%. That is dangerous.
It does not drink like 11% by any means.
Like a lot of the ones we go to in this show, it goes to the high ABVs.
Actually, I wanted to point out my shirt.
Oh yeah,
because this is.
Yeah, you're too short. Oh, you just got shorter. You're gonna don't fall.
Failing. Okay, there we go.
For those of you watching, Bonehouse is what is his name? Hans von Bierman.
I was gonna say Bonehouse. I went through a lot. Actually, my ankle's doing better, by the way, which is why I was able to do that. But I risked a lot to show my shirt. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Yep. Love Bonehouse.
And you got that shirt actually at the Smeltertown Beer Festival. Since Bonehouse was there, they were selling shirts, and you had to get one, didn't you?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I mean, and then I gotta show you the back.
Bonehouse Brewing, Fountain Hills, Arizona, is what it says.
It's pretty cool.
I try to say it really fast as you're sitting there sweating.
Just take my word for it. It's really cool. You'll see it in person.
So we went to Boston, and one of the places we visited, Sam Adams, of course, Boston Beer Company, did a tour there, and that was fun. So we actually did two of their breweries in one day. One was a tap house, which they have in their downtown area, and that one they still brew beer at, I think at a smaller scale, of course. And then the one in Jamaica Plains, which is their main brewery, and that's actually the founding place of it. That place, I think, has been running since the late 70s. I think they've been in the same building.
Go back to the tap house first, because I really liked the tap house. That was a really neat one. But before we start, because the tap house, we had taken a trip, took a duck tour all around town. It's like a land and water tour of Boston. Super neat. And we had actually passed by the Sam Adams Tap House, and it was like a huge 2-story building. And of course, it's got like a nice patio. And the patio is really big, and it has a beautiful, beautiful view. And if you've ever been to Boston, like the architecture is amazing, not just on the homes, but like on the buildings everywhere. It's so green and lush. There's trees, beautiful bushes, a lot of things that we don't see here in Phoenix. It's just happening naturally and so beautifully out there in Boston.
Yeah, the red brick that's almost everywhere, the streets, sidewalks, buildings, everything. It's just beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. But what I wanted to showcase was when you got to the very top, the little, I don't know, like they've railings, but the wall that goes under the railing was glass. So you really truly get like a great, great view. And I wish we would have spent more time, just a little bit more time standing and sitting up there.
Yeah.
But we had so much to do. I mean, we were
on
there.
the go.
We were there for what, 4 days?
Yeah, and it wasn't enough.
No.
4 nights, technically, so I don't even know if that's considered 4 days.
No, I wouldn't. but I would definitely consider probably like at least a week to truly do everything there. We'd try to do everything as fast as I could, just because I was still healing and just still kind of limping around. Which, I mean, it was okay. I was
I
alright. I
had
was
you.
a little bit, yes, thank you. It was my ankles was still pretty sore, but I was able to navigate and stuff like that. And then with just like the rain kinda slows you down a little bit, but it
Loved it.
wasn't like heavy rain. It was like light rain and some sprinkles. Beautiful, and then the last 2 days that we were there, we actually had sunshine, and that was when we were at the tap house for Sam Adams, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful view from up there, and I actually, you know what? I don't think there's a place in Boston that you can go where you're going to have a bad view,
No.
especially if you have a beer in your hand.
Yeah.
It just makes it that much it just enhances your experience that
Yeah,
much
the
more.
harbor's right there. I mean, they got the river on the other side. There's just a lot of really fun stuff to look at and just enjoy while you're there. And that tap house, I thought it was really funny because we go inside there and there's like, stairs to get up to the second level. You weren't having that. There's an elevator, luckily. We get in there and they have a table in there. I guess that's why if you're sitting there with the beer, you have somewhere to set it as that one floor
That
to
elevator
get the
ride.
elevator ride. Yeah, you have somewhere to set your beer at. So I thought that was funny. But you get up there and the back end, you're looking and you're like, oh, this is still ground level on this side. It's like, why did I do all that work trying to get upstairs? And you're at basically ground level on that side.
On the back end of it,
Yeah.
yes, it's ground level, and it's kinda weird, but
Yeah.
when you go to the patio side, that's where you're on the 2nd floor.
Yeah. And it's
So
beautiful.
it's
Faneuil
very.
Hall is right there. I mean, it's a great view of that whole courtyard that's right there, and then the marketplace right behind there. Would you got some snacks? I think after we left Boston Beer, just to try to get something. There were so many different places, like a food court, and I was like, oh, we got to get something here.
Well, and not just, so going back to the patio, is they have a bunch of picnic tables out there, but they're the plastic kind, it's not like the wooden kind, and it had umbrellas, and on that day, the high was even though the high was, like, what, 72,
If
when
that,
it's
yeah.
bright sunshine like that and you're in direct sun, it was kinda warm. So having that umbrella up there was really nice because it did provide just enough shade, and there was just always, I felt like, just a constant breeze. And being under that sunshade with that breeze was perfect, like, just take a nap. It was really, really nice, and after just being on that tour and just being busy, that was the break that I think we all kinda needed from walking.
Absolutely. And one good thing about that is, coming from Phoenix, it was like 105 degrees here. And to go out there having 70 degrees all day long. The rain, even though it was like 60, 65 degrees and it was raining, I'll take that all day long. Still loved it. I really enjoyed that. Most people in the country probably feel differently with that type of weather, but if you don't get much rain, you kind of have to enjoy it when you can get it.
So while we were there at the tap house, I had to get the New England Juicy IPA, and that was really good. And again, just the ambiance paired with a delicious beer makes the beer 10 times better.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd actually be curious to try it again, not being at their tap room, but I don't know if that's something that we can get or if that's something exclusive to the tap
No, I
room.
think they have that one. I just don't know exactly where you can buy it out here. It's distributed though, that particular one.
Oh,
The one
gotcha.
I had was a little different. So they said that they brewed at that place. There was a few exclusive beers just to that place, and I don't know exactly their process, but if they brewed it there, it's kind of like almost like a one and done, or it's like a trial to, hey, do we go further with this? And the one I had was called Operation Hop, and it was called Aurora, and it was just a regular pale ale, low ABV, 5.6%. It was just a good, sipper beer to kind of enjoy the weather, sit out there on the patio, and I could have had like probably 5 or 6 of those and still been fine, but I didn't. I just had the one. But it was just, I was sitting there drinking the beer and sitting on that patio, looking at the whole view, as we're, kind of up above and just watching all the people walking around. It was very fun.
Well, one thing I don't remember is when you take your beer, when you're going from the bar area to the patio, Is it just wide open or were there
No, there
doors?
was doors. It was, I mean,
Okay.
they were big double doors, and they probably could have opened more around there, and maybe they do that during different times of the year. But because it was the whole front or the whole area around the bar was all glass, and I'm
Right.
sure that it opened up into more doors. We went out just the one end, and I think they had just a double door that were standing open as we walked out.
Okay. For some reason I was thinking that it was just like a giant like accordion glass door and that it was wide open. Because if that were the case, sitting directly at the bar and just having all that shade, the inside air and the breeze hitting you,
Mm-hmm.
easily could have spent 3 hours there.
Yeah.
And they serve food there, right? Or
Uh,
snacks maybe?
Maybe snacks. I don't think they had
Like a
food, or if they
full-on
did,
kitchen?
I didn't investigate that further. I think as soon as we got our food, we just ran outside and just enjoy the patio. So they had like
Yeah.
standing room. You could actually stand around the outside, and they had like a little ledge where you could, set the beers and not worry about dumping it off the edge. And then they had those picnic tables that we were sitting at, but we could have stood. We just were doing a lot of walking anyway, so having a
Yeah.
seat wasn't too bad. I mean, if
But
we
I
were
need
healthy,
it.
we could have ran all over the
I would
place.
say I needed that break though with my bum ankle, but it's not so bummy anymore. It's definitely getting better. I'm walking. All I have is just like a little flimsy ankle brace, but that actually provides a lot of support.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Anyways,
going so after the tap room, now back onto the tour at
the
Sam
tour, yeah, we
Adams.
went so that we after we left there, we were like, okay, now that we pre-gamed it at their tap room, we're going to go to their main brewery in Jamaica Plains and guess what? Have some more beers. And no, we did, and that place was amazing. It was such a good experience there. You walk in, and on the right hand side after you walk in, there's like their whole merchandise room, and it is like a store. It's not even just like a little bit, it's a whole store. On the other end is their full bar. And we ended up doing the tour, and they're like, okay, your tour starts in half an hour, and we're like, well, that's just enough time for us to go grab a beer and walk around with it. So what did we do? We got a
Grabbed a
beer.
beer and walked around the gift shop.
They're like, hey, if you do the tour, they'll make you pour it in a plastic cup. So I went to the bar and I was like, can you just pour it in the plastic cup now? Because I'm gonna be walking around with it. And I got one that was exclusive to that place also, and really neat story. So they do, because that's like the innovation area of all the beers that they make. The beers that they have there, usually it's just like a one-time deal, unless it moves further onto the production side of things, and it has to go through a lot of red tape to do that. The beers that you get there, you'll have once, and you'll probably never have it again. And I thought that was neat. So the one that I got was the Brookside IPA, was just a regular American IPA at 6.6%, clean flavor. I sipped on that. I know we had about a half hour. It's probably actually a little less than that. I probably sipped on that for about 40 minutes as we started the tour. We were shopping. We were doing all kinds of stuff.
Yes, and I ended up getting the Jamaica Way, which is a New England hazy, and that came in right at about just over 7%. And that was a really easy sipper. That was a really good sipper, just especially to walk around in the gift shop and just shop around, look at things. A lot of really, really neat merchandise. So they don't just have hats and shirts, but they have all types of things. They've got obviously bottle openers, they've got magnets, they've got stickers, they have just a lot of really, really neat, like just beer trinkets in general all together. So obviously
We spent a
bought a
lot of time
bought,
looking at I got this
bought a
shirt.
few things.
It's Sam Adams. It's like blue and orange, so it kind of looks. It's not New York Mets, I promise you. Unless you're a New York Mets fan, I appreciate that. I love baseball. But it was like a baseball shirt, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And it has a little beer steins on there. I really like it.
I'll say it looks
It
Broncos
does look like a
friendly.
Bronco shirt, but it's
Denver.
baseball. Baseball is just way different.
Okay. So we definitely bought some stuff there. Oh, and this really neat thing, and I'm sure other people have it too, but it's like this little plastic clip that attaches to the side of like your beer can, just like a regular, I think it just fits a 12
12
ounce
ounce.
beer
Yeah.
can. But it's a little clip that attaches to the side and it turns your can into like a stein. So it turns it into like a mug so you can just
It's not
sip
white
it.
trash at all.
Hey, of course it's not. We bought two.
Very true. It's like, oh yeah, we're using this.
Yes.
And no, that was fun. So we did the tour, and they have like probably three or four different tours. They do barrel aged stuff there. So of course that was one of the tours. We weren't able to get to that one. They only do that during the weekends, and I was kind of bummed about that. But we did their research and development tour, which, oh my gosh, I'm glad we spent the extra money. We were the only ones on the tour to do it. And it was like our own private tour of their back rooms and stuff.
It
And
was really neat.
yeah, we were able to see the initial part where they take everybody, and it was like all their beer equipment that they use for that particular facility. And what was it, like a 60 barrel system or something that they made beer in? And then they give you first thing when they start the tour. Here's a Boston Lager, and it's just like a small little cup. But they start the tour with us just being able to sip on that beer and tour the facility. So we went into that room. And then they're like, okay, we're going to take you into the back. And I think the most notable, and they said, okay, phones away. You can't have your phones out, which I've been to a lot of breweries, and it's a very similar R&D department that they have. But of course, nobody wants to give away their secrets. But it was so cool being inside there and just like, the guy, remember he was saying like this place here has the 3 barrel brew system. They had all those 1 barrel fermenters for all their trial and error stuff. And the guy was saying that until like 10 years ago or maybe less, this place still had stoves that people were brewing on to get Sam Adams out to the public. It was still that small of an operation, and it's just a bunch of guys there just having fun. And the head brewer, he said it's the same one since like the late 70s. He's been there ever since.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And you'll know better on this part, but he was talking about the guys there. I don't know how many of them that work in that back area will bring in their own home brews, have everybody try it. They'll note, okay, here's what it is on tap handle number 11, and they all make notes on and give them advice on what to do next. And then it goes to that next stage where they're brewing, and I'll let you talk a little bit more about that.
I think I want to say like 10 taps total. And then on the board, again, just like you had said, everybody just because everybody's working at a different pace, different time, and not everybody's at, the same place at the same time. So they can't always just talk to one another face to face and leave, their feedback. So they'll just write, whenever they have time, they'll just write little notes, what they would change, what they improve, what they taste, just little small things like that, constructive criticism. And then they'll vote. I think it was that they vote and then they'll move on like, okay, well, this was my favorite beer, this tap handle. And then they'll take that and put that on one of the tap handles on the bar side of Sam Adams. So, which was really neat because just to hear that a lot of the employees there are still brewing at home and not just at the facility, I thought that was really neat because it's all very, obviously, if it's home brewing, it's very small batch.
Yeah.
But just to hear the creative side of things like that and how it comes together and works like that.
Yeah, and we had a couple beers that they did not have. I don't think they even had names for it. It was a Czech style lager that we had while we were inside of that room. We finished our Boston lagers. Actually, I was at that point. I think we were still carrying around our beers that we got inside the bar. But we had a Czech style lager, and that one was really good. Very, very smooth. I mean, it was a very classic flavor. Also, I mean, crystal clear look. I mean, they did a good job with it, and drank real easy too. Low ABV. And do you know what was fun? And oh man, I wish I remember the names of them. But each of their fermenters, and it wasn't in just in this room, it was in
Oh,
multiple. They all
yeah.
had like
Oh my
like
gosh.
different names to them. Like
Right.
like Brewery more and
They had such fun names, and that was the room that we couldn't have our phones out in.
oh
So
man,
I wish the second that we left, we went to our notes on our cell phones and plugged
just
them in really fast. But that was so fun, like the creative and fun names that they have
yeah.
for all of these beers. And I've never done a beer tour like that
It
before, or
wasn't their beers, it was their fermenters that they named. Each fermenter had its own name.
yes. But I wish, and I haven't been on, I don't think I've been on any beer tours actually. I think this may have been my very first one.
Stone, we were at Stone and we did that one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So what I like the way, like how Sam Adams did theirs is with each room, each section, they had somebody go through ahead of time and pour like our next taster. And that
Hmm.
was really neat. I that was really cool. And then one, I think it was the one that you were just talking about, the lager. Was that the one that they had paired with cheese?
No. That was at the very end. So, but
Uh,
before that, after we had that Czech style lager, then we went to that bigger area where I think they did some contract brewing and they had their canning line.
mm,
We had a fruited Berliner Weiss, and they used all natural fruits inside that beer. Also, again, I don't know if it even had a name. He told us what it was, and told us what was inside of it, but it was kind of like, hey, here's it in a little tiny plastic cup. You can drink it while we're having this tour, and we're going on to the next thing. We're talking about the beers that they're making, talking about the fermenters because it's just hilarious. And their canning line, of course, all automated. That was really cool. Just to see that it wasn't running at the time. It was really weird. So we went through this whole place, and I think the whole time we ran into like one other person, didn't we?
yes, and that was oh, yes, that was right before we went into, like, the, area where they store all the kegs. Holy moly, it was freezing in there.
Yeah.
Like, it was cold, like a huge cold room. So, over at Total Wine or yeah, Total Wine, you have that walk-in, refrigerator section where you can get all the beers and stuff like that. So, that was basically what we walked into, but it was probably, like, what, 5 times bigger?
Oh yeah, you could drive a forklift in there. Things were on pallets that they brought in and out.
It was really neat, and it was so cold.
Yeah.
But that's where we ran into that one employee, and I think it was because she was picking up
Picking up
beer.
beer.
She was picking up beer, and I was, you
It's like,
know
I want to work here.
yeah, I was seriously ready to move to Boston because I
Oh
was
man,
just
just
like
because of that.
yeah. That and, like, they got rain twice that out of the 4 days that we were there, so 50% of the time that we were there was rain, and we've been here for how many years, and we don't even equate to 50% of the time that we've lived here in
I know, I
Phoenix
know.
with rain. I think you can chalk it up to, I don't know, 2% of the, what, 30, 40 years that we've been here?
Yeah, no, it rained a couple months ago. I think we got a dusting on the window, and it just came out, and it was just like dirt.
Say that's still like 2% of the
Yeah,
40
very true.
years. Let's just round it up and say of the 40 years that we've been here, we've had about 2% rain.
Yeah. So
Um,
far, I think we made a total of 18 inches of rain since we've lived here, over 40 years.
I think I've had more than 18 inches of dirt on my car
Oh yeah, it's probably
total
more than 18 inches now.
from those monsoons.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but a lot of times that's
monsoon.
just dirt and
That's what I mean. Like
yeah,
that's where all the dirt was coming from.
very true.
Ugh.
But
Anyways.
yeah, going back to the brewery, so we went to that fridge area, and that was really cool. So they had like all even the kegs that go to their tap room, and it was such long lines. He said it was like the longest beer lines I think that they have out there, and it actually had to run through a pump to pump the beer faster over to the tap room, and it was all temperature controlled the entire way too, with glycol
Crazy.
lines going with it. So I thought that was so cool. That I mean, just
Very.
everything that they do there was just it was to just another level. It was so fun. And we ended the tour, and I have to talk about this. They had a wild barrel room, so it was all those wooden casks or wooden fermenters that they had inside there, and I don't know if they even had anything in there while we were there, but the beers that we got to try with the cheese was a barrel-aged Boston lager, and something I would have never expected. That
Yeah.
was, oh my gosh, that was my favorite. And he had like a pitcher, and they had 3 cups, and we finished that pitcher just sitting there drinking and talking with the guy. Oh my gosh, it was good. And I'm like, can I buy this? And he's like, no. He goes, it was just a one-time deal. We decided to try. And I'm like, why are you teasing me like this? I want this so bad. And I'm like, could you imagine just going to the store like, oh, pick me up a bottle of Boston Lager barrel
Barrel
aged.
aged.
Oh my God, that would have been
So
so fun.
luckily, while we were in that room, because I was tired of walking, I needed to take a rest. So I sat down, and you continued to talk with our tour guide, but I was able to take a quick video of that room right
Mm,
before we walked out. So I'll definitely post that online. I know I put in like a little snippet in like our trip when we went out there, but I'll post the full video so that way you guys can see what that entire room looked like. It's
that's cool.
really, really
I'll add it to
nice.
the blog on our website too when that I don't know, I'll find somewhere. Maybe not the video because it's kind of hard to put videos on there, but I'll put the pictures on there. That'll be cool.
So then, of course, after the tour, we also had to eat. So
Oh yeah.
the restaurant that we went to that was highly recommended by our friends that had been there before, was 21st Amendment. And we
Hmm.
actually, because it was so close to our hotel and we really enjoyed it, we went there twice. So by the time, and it was just right around the corner. So it was about 9 o'clock by the time we got to 21st Amendment. And it was cold. It was actually cold. I remember checking the temperature on my phone, and I was like, 48 degrees. Holy moly. For us Phoenicians, anything like below 60, forget it. But I was just like, I'm not that cold. I'm not that cold. But like legit, I had like snot that was starting to run, and I was like,
So,
and I was like, no, I'm not cold. This is perfect.
oh
So
man. But we go in there and we get there like at 9 o'clock and it's all closed for a private event at 10. And we're like, all right, well, let's try it out. We go inside there and it is jam packed. There's not one seat to give in
well,
the
it's
entire
not a
place.
huge place. I want to say maximum occupancy was probably like what, 45, 50,
Yeah.
I want to say.
In a good day. Yeah.
But yes, and that's inside. So outside, there was actually, I want to say, like 4 tables out there, 4 picnic tables. And when we walked in, it was just like stuffy and dark and crowded. And we had both of our kids with us, and we were just kind of like, "Ew, yeah, this isn't a place that we really want to be at with our kids because they're just not going to enjoy it." And I didn't want to be in there with how stuffy it was because it just felt like once we walked out, I felt like, "Ooh, my clothes feel wet," just from being
It's
in there.
gross.
So we ended up just sitting. Thankfully, because they were closing at an hour after we had got there, they were nice enough and they let us sit on the picnic tables outside.
At 48
Um,
degrees, they're like, yeah, you want to sit out there? Go ahead. And it's raining. And we're just like,
It was sprinkling,
yeah,
but I
I enjoyed it.
appreciated that because we weren't stuck with all the loud people inside and it wasn't hot and stuffy. It was actually like cold, but it was refreshing cold. So
Yeah.
I definitely embraced it because I just knew I was like, man, when we come back to Phoenix, we're not going to get this for a long time. So I soaked it all in and I sucked it up and I was like, it's fine. It's great.
I think it said that that was actually a place that John F. Kennedy, he lived in a place like in the building, like right next door to that place. I think one of the tour guys said that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And 21st Amendment, I'm not exactly sure how long it was there. I think it said on the sign it was like 1933 or something like that. I'll have to fact check that. But it was been there for a really long time. And we were just like, we know you guys are gonna try to close. We're just grabbing a couple beers and we grabbed a pizza. It was like a margarita pizza, but we put half pepperoni on half of it. And
That
that late at
was
night, for how busy they were, was a great pizza. I mean, that crust was like perfectly cooked. It was like nice and crispy.
It
And
was so good. The
oh,
one regret that I do have is because I'm also like the wing and fry person. Um, I didn't order the wings, but the second time that we went back, I wanted to get the wings, but it was just I felt like it was way too late to be eating, so we had just went there for drinks anyways.
I tried.
Um,
I actually asked when he went to the bathroom, and they handed us the menu that had some beers on there, and we got pretty much the same thing that we had the night before. There's a couple of good ones that were on there, but it was like, I'm like, hey, we did like stuff all day long, all around the city. We get back to the hotel room, and I'm like, let's just go check it out. Let's go over there. And we walked over there, and you needed to go to the bathroom like right after we got there. And I was like asking the guy, and I tapped the menu. He's like, our kitchen's closed. I was like, I'm like, man. So no wings a second time. But we did have a couple drinks, and that was fun.
Yes. And then afterwards, I think that was that the same time that we attempted to go check out Cheers?
No, that was a different night. But we tried to do that also. And that was another one where it said it was open online, and we walked over there. It wasn't a very far walk. And we get there, and we're like, closed, and I was, come on. So we took a picture in front of it anyway. Hey, why not, right?
Skunked out there. So I think because I think that was a Sunday. That was a Sunday night. And I think they were just maybe a little slow. So they decided to close early, which I mean, I probably would do the same thing too.
Yeah.
But it was just a real bummer, but we were able to get the picture of the sign, and then going down the stairs. We even like went partially down the stairs and looked in the window, and you could tell like the workers were in there.
There was people there. They should have let us in.
I felt like they were like, hey, we're drinking over here.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing that we were trying to do as we were walking around and just listening to people and stuff is like, I wanted to hear somebody say, hey, I'm going to go get a Boston lager. I wanted that Massachusetts, that good Boston accent. And there's just such a array of people there, especially because of the colleges.
Yeah.
I just couldn't find anybody to get that accent. I think I saw one construction guy was walking across the street, and I'm like, oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? He did it.
And then there was that other lady inside CVS too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she kind of had that. She's just going to town, and maybe a couple ladies sitting at one of the train station or something we were at, and you're gonna. I think they're talking like that.
Oh my gosh, such out-of-towners.
I know. And if we go to the South, we're not going to be looking for anybody that has a Southern draw. We're going to just be like, that's just normal. But hearing somebody talk with a Boston accent, I wanted to hear that so bad.
I think it's just because it's not very common. We don't get that a lot in Phoenix.
Yeah, and people lose that accent, I feel, when they move away also. Even people that I know there. I knew a guy from Maine that kind of had it, but he was lived in Phoenix for a while, and he was a contractor. And sometimes he said some things, and I'm like, oh, I think I heard it. But all in all, Boston Beer Company, Sam Adams, it's a classic. I mean, for craft beer, they were at the forefront of the craft beer movement in America. And I mean, I drank lots of it in my day. I mean, that was one of our go-tos for many, many years. I saved their bottles when I was home brewing, and I used their bottles almost exclusively on all the beers that I made at home too, because I could crimp the lids on. They had not the twist offs, and oh my gosh, such a great brewery. I love it.
And this was just a small portion of our Boston trips. Just of all the other different places that we went to and tried out food and beer.
I can't wait to talk about it. But for today, thank you everybody for joining us. As always, we love doing this. Completely our passion project. Cheers, everybody. And really, when we really think about it, it's we do this because of our love for craft beer. We love it. We want to bring other people to, I'm not even going to say the dark side. We want to bring everybody to our world and enjoy this as much as we do.
To the craft side.
To the craft side. Yes. Yes. I love this woman.
Yes, I did something right.
You always do things right. But
that is true.
Great breweries out there. The craft beer community is really what we want to bring up, to show, to actually bring to the table for everybody. And we hope that you guys enjoy the journey with us, because we're going to be here, and I hope you are too every week. Subscribe, 5 stars, Instagram, you know the drill. Love you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.